Hello guys, welcome to the Ghostly Screen channel, and today you're going to watch the breakdown of a 2025 horror comedy movie Coyotes, directed by Colin Minahan, who made Grave Encounters and It Stains the Sands Red. The special thing is that Justin Long is in the lead, along with his real-life wife Kate Bosworth. Let's see what happens with them this time. So without wasting any more time, let's quickly start the story. At the start of the movie, we see Instagram influencer Kat, who has taken her dog out for a walk at night and is swearing at it, calling it bitch as she walks. After finding a good spot, she starts taking selfies. But a coyote ends up in her selfie. In fact, there were several coyotes in the bushes there, and they tore her dog apart and ate it. Then they started moving toward Kat, so she backed away in fear and ended up getting run over by a car. While she was writhing in pain, the coyotes came and started tearing into her too. That was the opening, which tells us that coyote attacks in Los Angeles have skyrocketed. The reason might be wildfires, which pushed them into populated areas, but their behavior is extremely strange. They're not sparing pets, not even human kids, and if someone gets stuck alone somewhere, they take that person down too. This has been going on for days, but there's still no solution. And the problem has now reached the posh area of Hollywood Hills as well. In that neighborhood lives Scott with his wife Liv and their daughter Chloe. Their dog Charlie is part of the family. Scott heard some noises inside the house walls, so he called Devin from Pest Control, who is extremely passionate about his work. He said, "You've got rats in your house and we'll have to poison them. Otherwise they'll cause trouble." He did the treatment and left, adding, "Rats love dog food, by the way. So get the dog out of here ASAP." The TV news said a big storm is coming tonight, so Liv told Scott to trim the tree in the yard to avoid any mishap. But Scott said there's no need, the media exaggerates, yes, even in America. He kept working like he always does. At night, Liv planned a movie night at home and ordered pizza. But instead of the pizza guy, Julie showed up. She was supposed to go to neighbor Tripp's house but came here by mistake. Liv sent her to the right house. After that, everyone sat together to watch Night of the Living Dead, but Scott was still lost in his work. When it was time to sleep, Charlie sat by the door and started barking, because there was a coyote outside. Chloe couldn't see it clearly, so she thought maybe a dog was injured. So she went straight to her mom and dad, who were about to have a talk. Because Chloe insisted, Scott had to go outside to check, and he came face to face with a coyote that looked pretty aggressive, but it suddenly vanished. Feeling relieved, Scott came back inside when the power went out, because what Liv feared actually happened. The yard tree fell due to the storm, right onto their car, and the power lines snapped under it. The whole area lost power. Thankfully, the gas pump of the house narrowly escaped. Otherwise, the whole house would have blown up. In the morning, by the fallen tree, Liv found their neighbor Tripp's cat Lassie's leash, right next to blood. She took the leash to Tripp. Tripp went crazy with worry. He thought when the tree fell, maybe Lassie was under it. But when they searched, they found her in the bushes, killed by coyotes. Meanwhile, Scott had called his friend Tony to come with a saw to cut the tree. But Tony showed up with such a weak saw that after 20 minutes all it made was a tiny scratch. Tony was going to bring a chainsaw, but his wife Sheila didn't allow it, and didn't let him stay long either. As soon as Sheila texted, Tony rushed back home. But finding him alone on the road, the coyotes tore him apart too. Poor Sheila kept waiting. She called Tony's phone, and the ringtone came from outside the house. She went out and saw the phone was still in Tony's hand, and only his hand was there, which the coyotes had brought. They pounced on Sheila as well. She tried to scare them off with fire, but in the process she set herself on fire. A swimming pool was just one step away, but she didn't jump in, and died writhing in flames. Around this time, Scott's family got attacked too, when all three were in the garage. Luckily, Scott shut the garage door in time or it would have been bad. But he still didn't grasp the danger. Next door, Julie and Tripp were having a big argument. The coyotes showed up to watch their show, too. Seeing them, Julie ran upstairs and Tripp was left alone. But he had a gun, so he shot a couple of them. But there were too many, so he also ran upstairs to hide with Julie. They thought they were safe in the room, but a coyote opened the door and came in, So Julie ditched Trip again and locked herself in the bathroom. Trip kept firing, but he couldn't hold out for long. Meanwhile, to pass the time, Scott's family started playing games. Scott acted things out, and the family had to guess who he was imitating. He acted really well, but the family couldn't guess. They thought it was a zombie, but he was actually doing the Frankenstein monster. Just then, gunshots started coming from Trip's house and had been for a while, but Scott kept brushing it off. Trip must be firing crackers. Inside the house, Liv got suspicious and called the police, but all the lines were busy. Right then, Charlie suddenly ran outside, so Scott had to go out to bring him back. But as soon as he stepped out, Coyotes showed up. Seeing them, Liv and Chloe locked themselves inside, but Scott was stuck outside. Charlie kept running ahead of him, and chasing the dog, Scott ended up at Trip's house, where everything was a mess. When he went upstairs, he was horrified. The Coyotes had chewed Trip open completely. The terrifying part was that Trip was still alive. Right in front of Scott, he took his last breath, and seeing his condition, Scott started freaking out because he has a problem. When he sees blood, he faints. He was barely holding it together when gunshots burst from inside the bathroom, fired by Julie. Scott shouted that he wasn't a coyote. Only then did Julie let him in. But everything Julie told Scott was a lie. She said, "When the Coyotes came, I was fighting them with Trip, but Trip told me to go hide. That's why I hid. Otherwise, I was totally fighting." After praising her bravery, Scott said, "Come with me to my house. Staying here isn't safe." Julie had Trip's car keys, so she agreed at least they wouldn't have to risk walking. As soon as they left the room, Devin called Scott back, because Scott had called him many times. Scott told him, "We're under attack by coyotes. We need your help right now." But Devin hung up. "I'm off today. I'll come tomorrow morning." Just as they were about to head out, 3 coyotes showed up behind them. Scott froze, but Julie had a gun, and she blasted all 3 on the spot. Back home, Chloe told Liv, "This is all because of me. I saw a coyote and I fed it. The next day it brought another coyote, and I fed both. Doing that again and again is how so many coyotes came here." But Liv explained, "This isn't your fault. These coyotes aren't behaving normally. The main issue was, because of Charlie, Scott was stuck outside. But Charlie wandered back into the house on his own, while Scott was still trying. Somehow, Scott and Julie got into the car. But Julie wasted time with her conspiracy theory that the government sprayed chemicals in the air to control people, which made the coyotes go crazy and turn man-eater. Just like that movie where birds attack people. She couldn't remember the name. Scott said, "Literally, it's called The Birds." But Julie insisted it had some other name. In all this nonsense, they forgot how to get the car out because the gate was closed and there was no power to open it. So Scott got bold and rammed the gate, got the car out, and crashed the car, forcing both of them to go on foot. Scott still wasn't too worried when a coyote pounced on him and bit his shoulder. Brave Julie, as usual, just stood and watched. Thankfully, Liv showed up at the right time with a fire extinguisher, or Scott wouldn't be living. That's how all 4 of them gathered back in the house. Meanwhile, at Trip's place, a Final Destination-style scene happened. A heavy item was kept on a glass table. The table broke, and a lit candle rolled over to the curtains, setting them on fire, and the blaze spread through the whole house. The worrying thing, if it kept spreading, the fire would reach Scott's house too. Seeing the flames, everyone panicked and wondered what to do. Then they heard a coyote sound from upstairs. A coyote had already entered the house, because Liv forgot to close an upstairs window. Started coming down the stairs, so everyone hid, and Chloe hid under the stairs, taking Charlie with her. The coyote had come smelling a can of meat and started eating it. Chloe quietly slipped up the stairs, but as she went up, she stepped on a toy, and the coyote chased her. Before Liv and Scott could help, another coyote entered through the dog door, which they still hadn't closed. Scott froze again, so Liv had to act. She threw a sheet over the coyote and pinned it down. Then Scott finally grabbed a fire poker and finished the coyote. They rushed upstairs, but the coyote there ran off when they arrived. By then, it had injured Chloe, and seeing her blood, Scott fainted. He woke up much later. Liv told him, "No help is coming. We have to take Chloe to the hospital, and you'll have to rig something for that." Chloe suggested building a cage, the kind people use when they go to see sharks, so the four of them could be safe from coyotes. So Scott had to build a cage with whatever they had in the house. Without wasting time, he went to the garage and got to work. Meanwhile, Devin showed up outside the house. He thought he could spray and drive the coyotes away, but that didn't work. Then he pulled out a taser, which he thought scared them off. As soon as he turned around, the coyotes jumped him and tore him up too. Scott kept working in the garage. Suddenly, he heard a sound in the wall. Not a rat, but a dog-like sound. Even though Charlie was upstairs, he gathered courage and crawled into the vent to see what was going on. He discovered there weren't rats in the wall at all. There were 2 coyote pups stuck inside the house frame. That's why the coyotes had been causing so much chaos. They wanted their babies back, which meant if he returned the pups, the coyotes would leave, and the cage Scott built would help finish the deal safely. He got into his bulletproof cage, went outside with the pups, but the coyotes were still angry. So, to show trust, he stepped out of the cage. He calmly returned the pups, and he could clearly see their mother was happy to have them back. Deal done. The coyotes left, and Liv, Chloe, and Julie all stepped outside, because now there was no danger. If only that were true. In the blink of an eye, a coyote pounced on Julie. Then Scott grabbed the taser, and drove it away. He understood. They needed to get out now. All 4 got into Devin's van and drove off at exactly the right time, because the house gas pump caught fire, and right before their eyes, the whole house exploded. If they'd sat around doing nothing, they would have blown up too. And yes, Devin is somehow still alive, and his passionate fight with the coyotes continues. With that, the movie ends. Justin Long survives another horror movie. Looks like Justin took his memes seriously. By the way, he had rejected this movie at first because he was busy with VHS Beyond. But when his wife Kate read the script, she insisted he do it, since it was a lead role. That's how both husband and wife appeared together. The movie is good, especially its weird comedy, which you can only get by watching it. It's good for fun and not much beyond that. Justin Long will be appearing in a bunch of other movies soon. Let's see how long he keeps surviving. What do you think about the movie? Tell me in the comments, and don't forget to like the video before you go. Subscribe to the channel and set the bell notification to all, so the notifications don't get stuck in YouTube's machinery. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye to everyone.